to get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
Stop scrolling, because what just happened in court between Teyana Taylor and Iman Shumpert is nothing short of unbelievable. A scene so shocking that it left everyone gasping, cameras flashing, and even the judge frozen in disbelief. In the middle of a heated courtroom battle, Teyana Taylor suddenly collapsed to the floor. And the reason? It all started when Iman's team pulled out evidence so explosive, so unexpected, that it changed the entire mood of the trial in a matter of seconds. The moment was pure chaos. Reporters who were scribbling quietly a second before dropped their pens. Lawyers who usually fight with words suddenly ran to help. And the silence that usually dominates a courtroom was broken with gasps, shouts, and whispers. The question on everyone's lips was the same. What could Iman possibly have revealed that shook Teyana so deeply she couldn't even stay on her feet? To understand why this moment matters so much, you have to go back and look at how Teyana and Iman even ended up here. Because once upon a time, they weren't enemies standing across from each other in court. They were partners, soulmates, even the couple everyone looked up to. Their love story was the kind that made people believe in fairy tales. Music, basketball, family, laughter, and a home full of love. But what the world saw on Instagram wasn't the full story. Behind the smiles, their marriage was crumbling, brick by brick, until it collapsed into a messy divorce. This court case wasn't just about money or property. No, it was bigger than that. It was about their children, about who would raise them, and about the scars left from a relationship that went from picture-perfect to picture-shattering. Both of them had been fighting hard, with their lawyers digging into every detail of their past. For weeks, Teyana seemed to hold the upper hand, painting herself as the stronger parent, the one more stable, more grounded, more deserving of custody. And for a while, it looked like the judge might believe her. But on this day, everything changed. The tension in the courtroom was thicker than ever. Teyana sat next to her lawyer, her face calm but her eyes betraying her nerves. She was ready to hear more accusations against Iman, more evidence that would secure her position. The audience, filled with reporters, family members, and curious onlookers, whispered quietly, waiting for the day's drama to begin. Then the judge entered, commanding silence, and the trial resumed. At first, it felt like just another day in the courtroom. Papers shuffled, voices droned, lawyers made their points. But then Iman's lawyer stood up and announced they had new evidence, something never before shown, something that would shift the entire case. The words hit like a hammer. Gasps echoed across the room. Even Teyana's lawyer looked stunned, quickly whispering objections, insisting the evidence couldn't possibly be admissible. But after a tense debate, the judge allowed it. That's when the room changed. The lights dimmed slightly as a screen was set up. The audience leaned forward, sensing this was the moment. Iman's lawyer clicked, and suddenly, documents filled the screen. At first, it looked like simple paperwork, numbers, accounts, receipts. But as the pages flipped, the meaning hit everyone at once. These weren't just numbers. These were secret financial records, accounts in Teyana's name that no one knew about, transfers that painted a picture of hidden dealings. Reporters scribbled furiously. Cameras clicked. Teyana froze. Her lawyer leaned toward her, whispering frantically, but her hands trembled as she tried to take it all in. And then it got worse. Screenshots of text conversations appeared next. Messages that contradicted things Teyana had said earlier in the trial. Words that hinted at double dealings, mistrust, and decisions she desperately wanted hidden. Each message that appeared was like another blow, each document another strike. The crowd murmured louder with every slide, the courtroom buzzing like a hive. For Teyana, it was unbearable. Her breathing quickened. Her hands shook so violently that her glass of water tipped over, spilling across the desk. She tried to hold it together, but her body betrayed her. The tension, the embarrassment, the pressure, it all came crashing down at once. And then, in front of the entire courtroom, she slumped forward and collapsed. The moment was pandemonium. Lawyers jumped from their seats. Reporters shouted. some rushing to capture the chaos. Court staff hurried in with water, fanning her, calling for medical help. The judge banged the gavel, demanding order, but it was useless. No one could ignore what had just happened. The woman who once seemed unshakable, the strong and glamorous Teyana Taylor, had fainted in court.
And Iman?
For a moment, his mask cracked. He stood, as if ready to rush forward, but his lawyer gently pulled him back. His face was conflicted, caught between the cold determination of a man fighting for his rights and the raw humanity of a man watching the mother of his children break down. The judge had no choice but to call a recess. Court officers escorted people out, doctors rushed in, and the crowd outside swelled with curiosity. Within minutes, the story spread like wildfire. Phones buzzed with notifications, Twitter lit up with hashtags, and headlines broke across the internet. Teyana Taylor collapses in court after Iman reveals evidence. Outside the courthouse, chaos reigned. Paparazzi pushed forward, desperate for photos. Fans debated fiercely online, some saying Iman went too far, others insisting Teyana was finally being exposed. The divide was clear. One half of the public sympathized with Teyana's collapse, the other half praised Iman for standing his ground. Inside the courthouse, the atmosphere shifted dramatically as doctors rushed in to attend to Teyana. Moments earlier, she had collapsed unexpectedly during a heated moment in the proceedings, sending a wave of panic through the courtroom. After a thorough medical evaluation, doctors confirmed that her fainting spell was the result of severe stress and exhaustion, not due to any underlying physical illness. It was a relief to many, but the scene left its mark. Though stable, Teyana was visibly shaken and emotionally drained. Her legal team immediately took control of the situation, forming a protective wall around her, shielding her from the flurry of cameras and reporters that had gathered at the courthouse entrance. With a tight-lipped escort, they guided her out swiftly, avoiding any media confrontation. Meanwhile, all eyes turned to Iman, whose presence remained both commanding and enigmatic. As the press fired off questions and photographers snapped away, he walked past silently, offering no comments or gestures. His face was unreadable, his silence adding a thick layer of mystery to an already tense situation. For weeks, the public narrative had leaned in Teyana's favor. Her legal team had seemed confident, her statements composed and heartfelt. But now, with her sudden collapse and the emergence of new evidence, the courtroom battle has taken a sharp, unexpected turn. The contents of this new evidence remain sealed to the public, but insiders suggest it could dramatically alter the trajectory of the case. Some speculate that it challenges key parts of Teyana's claims, while others believe it implicates Iman in ways previously unknown. Either way, what once seemed like a straightforward path to victory for Teyana now teeters on a dangerous edge. The emotional toll is clearly visible, not just on her, but on everyone involved. As Teyana recovers, the world watches closely, waiting for the next move. One thing is certain, this trial is far from over. If anything, the intensity is just beginning to rise. With the next court session looming, tensions are higher than ever. Both sides are preparing for what promises to be a high-stakes, emotionally charged showdown. And if today's events are any indication, the next chapter in this legal drama will be nothing short of explosive. Because this is no longer just a divorce. It has evolved into something far more personal, far more dangerous. This is now a full-blown war, a battle of pride, reputation, and emotional survival. The stakes have never been higher. Both Teyana and Iman are not just fighting for legal victory, they are fighting for how the world will remember them when this is all over. Every courtroom exchange, every leaked document, every public appearance adds fuel to the fire. And at the center of it all are two people who once loved each other, now locked in a silent, relentless struggle to come out on top. For Teyana, this is about reclaiming her truth and protecting her legacy. For Iman, it's about clearing his name and maintaining the image he's worked his whole life to build. Both understand one harsh reality. Only one version of the story will survive public judgment. And that version will shape careers, relationships, and futures. Which brings us to the most haunting question of all. Was this moment, with Teyana collapsing in court and new evidence coming to light, the true breaking point that shifts the entire narrative? Or is it merely the beginning of an even darker, more devastating chapter still to come?